very much. I want to thank you, Jeff, and I'm going to talk more about you in a second. I want to thank Carol in the Boston Children's Museum. Where's Carol? Is she gone? There she is. I want to thank Carol and the Children's Museum. Certainly, this museum is a national leader for out-of-school learning for our young people, and we had a great event here last week where we had, I don't know how many kindergartners, countdown to kindergarten, but we had so many kids that came here with their parents. It was just an incredible day. I actually was away, and I came back for that event because it's just so much fun. It makes you feel good knowing that we have so many great young people in our city, and I'm talking young little guys like 2-3-year-olds just running around and 4-year-olds. So I want to thank you, and Superintendent Cheng, I know, had a great time as well, and thank you for being here. The architects of this, and it was talked about a minute ago, Ron, Jeff, Wendell, and I'm going to throw Ron into that conversation. I want to thank them. What you're going to hear tonight is something that got me really excited when I remember when we had a meeting in my office probably about 6 months ago, and these 4 gentlemen came into my office and they started talking about it, and I should apologize because about 3 minutes into the talk, I said, you already sold me. You already sold me on this because it's something that's you can see the transformative power of what the Boston Basics has, what this idea would have in the city and across the country. When I was running for mayor of Boston, I had a similar moment when I came to the Children's Museum, and I saw Jerry Robinson. I was meeting with Carol, but I actually had a conversation with Jerry, and Jerry was talking about the studies, and for some reason, I was a state rep before that. They didn't hit me in the same way as they did that particular night, but that day I was here, and they started talking about if we can get children, before birth, up to 4 years old, into education, hearing words, and that'll all be talked about later. The impact you have on their life, changing their future projections. That's what this is all about. This is absolutely an incredible program. I've been mayor now for 3 years, and we can remove snow, we can take a lot of credit for it, we can have a AAA bond rating, we can feel good about ourselves, we can have $6 billion worth of development going on, and we can approve another $6 billion this year that's in the pipeline, plus on top of that, probably another $15 billion. We can talk about the benchmarks we've made and we've hit, and we can feel really good and talk about the crime being reduced in Boston, everywhere else is going up, and the shootings are down, all the great things that are happening in our city. But the thing that you take home at night and you really struggle with is how do you make sure we provide a real top-notch quality education for the young people in our city? How do we give them the opportunity to someday be a president of a bank or a United States attorney or go on to be an attorney or run to be superintendent of the schools or chief of education or be one of the philanthropists that we're talking about or run a museum or be mayor of the city of Boston? We do that by providing our young people with the best opportunity for education. And we can do that in Boston and do our best, but we're realizing that it starts long before our pre-K seats that we have in the city. Even if we had universal pre-K and we're heading towards there, it still starts before our universal pre-K. And that's what this is all about tonight, really putting young people on a pathway to success. These two of our biggest goals that this program can do and light a fire under is getting our young people off to a strong start in life. And every study and everybody, if you look at it, you don't have to go far, it shows it, it's there. It's in black and white, it's in printed, it's tested, it's studied, it's looked at. We know that works. And the second is we have to make sure our goal, mobilizing the entire city to support our children. Because the work that we have goes far beyond our classrooms. It goes at the moment our children are born. Boston Basics has come along exactly at the very right time to advance and help with this foundation. And that's why when we had the meeting in my office that day, I knew to myself that this is something here. These guys are doing God's work, and that's something that we can make a big difference, because I do think it will be in Houston. I do think it'll be in New York. I do think it'll be in Miami, and it'll be all around the country. I embrace this without hesitation, and I put my support of this program on the record at my State of the City address last January. It's something that's important. If we can create a healthy, safe learning environment at the earliest months and years of someone's life, we can change the patterns that lead to bad outcomes for our kids. I know I'm changing the board, so don't read that right now. We have too many kids in our life that have had missed opportunities, have fell behind, that have trauma or violence involved in their life. And a lot of this started to flow right at the beginning at birth. It's something that we have to do. Now, there are success stories of people that are able to turn their life around and get their life back on track. But there's a lot of time in between. There's a lot of pain and suffering in between that we can eliminate and prevent by addressing the needs of our young people and our young families early. We are working to make our city more equitable, but that change has to reach into the home from the very, very start. So I am the #1 champion for the Boston Basics idea, program, what's happening. I've backed this with the energy of our Office of Education, and Ron Dorsey is our lead there. And certainly we are going to use whatever we can in City Hall to make sure this is successful. We're working with our public health outreach. We're working with our Boston Center for Youth and Families to make sure that we have opportunities across the city. And we already are training some parents across the city to help them out. The Boston Public Schools is integrating the Boston Basics into the countdown for kindergarten outreach. And he's already been mentioned a couple times, but Superintendent Tommy Chang is here as well, because his job is to think about how do we make sure that we provide opportunities for all of our kids. And it's all of our jobs, I feel, to make sure we provide opportunities for kids before we even get them to Dr. Superintendent Chang into our school department to make sure that they can move on their own. BPS is pledged to make sure that this is a measured impact campaign on our kindergarten readiness. I want to thank you for that. I will call on other city partners to get involved, and I'll call on other people to get involved. The bottom line here is this. We have a unique opportunity. When I think about the battles that are going on in society, whether it's a charter school or a public school, and which one's a good one and which one's a bad one, when I think about all the fighting we do about education funding, when I think about all the different things that we have a unique opportunity. This is a unique opportunity right now in our time to make sure that we prepare young people. And while we're doing that, help young parents that can't help themselves to get on their feet and to really prepare young people to get into quality understanding at kindergarten. Now, it doesn't just mean, this isn't just for families that we feel a disadvantage. This is for the entire city of Boston. Yes. This is for everybody. But I see too often too many young people when they get into trouble, and the common theme to all of them, we also think, what's the common theme? Is it drugs? Is it poverty? Is it alcoholism? What is it? The common theme to help everybody succeed is education. This is our opportunity. This is our opportunity now to make sure that we are with that child from the very first day as a city until they get to graduate high school, where they can make that decision. We are going to put them on a pathway to college or a pathway to a career, but we want to get them to that point where they can make that decision on their own. We're going to try and push them towards college if we can, the best we can, but we're also going to try and do this. So I want to thank everybody for being here today. It means an awful lot, but I want to thank, in particularly, Ron, Jeff, Wendell, and Ron. I want to thank you for coming into my office. I want to thank you for running this by me. I want to thank you for having the confidence in me to be able to be an advocate for this program. This is an incredible program. And as you looked at on the board, the last thing I'll say, this isn't about creating an entity in City Hall or an entity in government where we're going to build a whole bunch of offices and people are going to get paid, and if it doesn't work, this is about grassroots politics. You know, Jeff talked about organizing. This is grassroots education. This is grassroots education that will be able to help every single child in the city of Boston and put them on a pathway to many of the careers that are in this room tonight. Thank you.